Ladies and gentlemen, you will not believe it, but it's true. I have two of the Arizona Airspeed members here that we haven't talked to forever. Here is Joey Marshall.
The best of the team, the front piece. The back piece, there's somewhere else.
Niklas Hemlin on the right side, he goes straight into the nitty-gritty of the whole thing. So Niklas Hemlin on the right side and Joey Marshall on the left side, the front piece. And we are on NSL Live Talk on Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, September the 22nd.
Yeah, it's about only a month until Nationals, right?
Right. So first question, where are your three teammates?
Taylor is working. He's working the military contracts. Mikhail and Chris are on vacation. We just came off of a pretty intense 3-week training schedule, coming back after the World Meet, having a long break. So we did about, 115, 120 jumps? No, maybe even 130, something like that. Yeah, so we had a pretty intense 3 weeks of jumping, did over 100 jumps. And now we have a little bit of time off to kind of hop back on it in the end of the month for the last little bit before Nationals.
It's very difficult to find a starting point for this, but I think the one that makes the most sense, besides what you already mentioned now, is let's go back to the World Meet and begin with congratulations, first of all, to Niklas for winning your first 8-way World Championship title.
Thank you.
And no congratulations to Joey Marshall because you were not invited to go.
I enjoyed the Lost Prairie Boogie. He's like, I'd rather be there than here. So he had his own good time.
So Joey, how did this feel? I mean, both other teammates, Mikhail and Christopher, made the trip. You had to sit at home and watch NSL news, I guess, to be there. Now I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, like Nick said, I was organizing at the Lost Prairie Boogie, and that was actually pretty tough because I didn't have any good reception or signal out there. So I'd have to walk out to a corner of the drop zone every day and stand on one leg just so I can get the scores to come in the morning, and I couldn't watch any videos, so I just had to go off of scores. But there were some things I could pick up through the scores, and so I felt a little bit a part of it, but not really. And no, it was definitely a little bit hard because having kind of essentially all my friends in the competitive world of the sport kind of overseas battling it out, I was definitely feeling the FOMO over here, so, but hey man, they pulled it off, and that's huge. I'm especially happy for my buddy Chris, who was under kind of the most pressure out there to perform, and he pulled it off, and I'm super proud of that guy, so it's great.
Yeah, what a call that was, Christopher, to action in the very last minute. Nick, give us some insights there. That was just, that was a big surprise, I guess, for everybody, that Airspeed XP8 changed the lineup a few weeks before.
Yeah, it was so the story for the record was that Matt had to kind of step down last year because of that hip surgery, and Andrew Heppick from Rhythm stepped in as being part of the XP8 before, so I took Matt's slot, Andrew took the point slot. So Andrew helped us out quite a bit during that time so we could keep training. And then when Matt came back and we started training again, but as Matt's recovery went really well with his hip, something happened to his back. And that kind of just got worse and worse. And then he started taking some more time off for his back, lower back issues after the surgery. So it's a different thing. I don't know if they're related or not, but eventually we were so close to the World Meet that, and he was not getting any better. And we were trying to scramble more training days with different people. I can't tell you how many people I flew with up front.
I know one jump.
You know, and so that being the case, you know, it came to that hard choice of we just had to, you know, make a call. And Matt said he couldn't do it. He could not jump. He was in so much pain. And so then, you know, we entertained a lot of options. And Chris was, I think, the best option for us. I fly with Chris a lot, and Chris being my peace partner, it was a very smooth transition for Chris and I up front. Actually, a lot of the things that we flew, I mean, he was unfamiliar in some things, but other than that, how he and I flew together, how we picked up the exits was fantastic. So he kind of filled in the last, I think, 150 to 200 jumps. So that's all we had before the World Meet. And 2 full camps, you know.
He had some 8-way history, though. I think he was in the lineup that actually won in 2019, wasn't he? No, the 2008. Yeah.
Yeah, 19. So he was on the team that they earned the U.S. team nomination in 2019 at XP, and he was outside rear. So he was in Mikael's slot at the time. And then we had the reshuffling, and then, you know, Matt was out, and then he was back in, but now he moved up to point. So he was point at the World Meet this time. So, and even back in 2019, he joined the team the last 3 months, I think.
Yeah, something like that. It was in the middle of the year.
So it was very, very similar to these kind of circumstances. So Chris is the expert in coming in, bailing us out, becoming the champ, the U.S. national champ in 2019, and now world champ.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the guy definitely thrives in situations where he kind of gets thrown in and has to simplify something that's very complicated and execute it with a low number of reps. It's something that he's very talented at.
Yeah.
Oh wow! So did you know that, or was that actually the reason for the decision? Because you had Joey there too as an option, I guess. You know, and maybe
I feel like there's a lot of things that come into play. I mean, we had a lot of people to consider, and in the end of the day, I mean, the list, I mean, the raw list probably had 6 or 7 different names on it, and you have to consider a lot of things. And you know, that is a consideration that we did have, but it wasn't a deciding factor that we had. But you know, Chris is very current. Chris has 8-way knowledge from before. And I mean, Chris has done 1,500 forward jumps between last season and this season. And there's nothing more current than Joey and Chris, you know. And that being the case, and also, you know, being as competitive as we all are, that was definitely a factor.
Mm-hmm. And then you were, I mean, your alternate, your official alternate, Andrew Epic, he had to compete in Russia, obviously, you know, with rhythm. So that would have been double duties, and that would not have been a good situation, I guess. He was your official.
Yeah, it wasn't what we wanted, you know, and I think we made the right decision there. You know, as far as Andrew probably would have done a great job, but in the end of the day, we saw what happened to the French, you know, losing both 4-way and 8-way. And I feel like from the get-go, that was the right decision. Andrew was focused on his thing, trying to clinch his first world championship in 4-way. And then we were focused on our thing, and we didn't want to be distracted or have anything else. And there's nothing like, and that's also what was so important, to have Matt come with us over to the World Meet, is just to keep the unity and they keep us together as a team, finish with the people we started with, you know. And Chris being in the Airspeed XP8 family from being on the team in 2019, but also, you know, when we have 4-way and 8-way training every other week, there's a lot of camaraderie, a lot of crossover between Airspeed 4-way and the 8-way. And it was just more natural to have Chris in that role than Andrew.
So, Nick, give us a quick rundown of the drama in Russia. I mean, it was a pretty exciting competition, Joey, right? I mean, you and I and many others had to watch this dramatic competition between France and you. Can you put this in a nutshell, actually, that amazing 8-way competition?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the right team won, but we didn't finish the meet, which always going to put a question to it. And then, but I mean, with the jumps we made, I feel like 100% we squeezed the most out of it. There's something about losing Matt and getting Chris that we won that meet at home when we went through that shift. Because it's very easy mentally at that point to kind of give up, and you might not show it on the outside, but in your heart. And that 8-way team really fought for that win. And I feel like that could either make or break a team. And I feel like at home, there was tough goings, dude. I'm not going to lie. It was like losing Matt that close to the meet and then having Chris step in. Chris wasn't sure. He wanted to do awesome, right? He didn't want to come in and blow it for anyone. And he knocked it out of the ballpark. And we wanted to feel like we were still in the game. It's a lot of that is just faith and choosing to believe. And when Chris joined the team, I think we did 5 draws in training, full draws, real draws. And we were doing 22+ averages in training. And I feel like seeing those averages right before going to Russia and choosing to kind of just believe that we were going to do well so when we got to Russia, spirits were high, and I feel like we just produced what we needed. I do feel like the French were more consistent than us as far as in their performance. We always thought it was going to be between us and France. I don't mean to discount the Russians, but in my heart, I always saw the French team as more dangerous. They're younger, they're lighter, they have a great coach, they have the resources, and France has always been extremely good competitors on, you know. And I was always a lot more nervous about the French. And seeing them fly, seeing their stuff on social media before the meet, seeing them at the Shamrock, they did a 22+ average. I was very impressed, and you know, and it made us better because we knew we had our work cut out for us, you know. So at the World Meet, I feel like we had based on you know, not having as much training with Chris, we had higher peaks and lower bottoms than the French. The French were a lot more consistent. But I feel like when the skydives really mattered, we really produced. And when we did produce, there was fantastic skydives, you know. Our round 1 felt fantastic, you know, and the fast round was a great round for us. But also the very last one with the 1 and the 9 in it were also extremely in the A. It was a very good skydive. And it was this, we had a couple of bad skydives in the meet where we lost by like 3 points. And those are the skydives where we really dipped down too far. We shouldn't have been, being at the caliber we are, if we would have had more skydives with Chris, we wouldn't have had those big dips. And it's not just Chris I'm talking about. I mean, it's when you replace anyone like that, it changes the dynamic a little bit. But we had this tremendous resolve to come back afterwards, you know. And so like after not that great of a jump, we had a fantastic jump, and that just shows the resilience in the team.
So we are still missing the highest average. I guess, is it this exactly the same lineup competing at the nationals?
Yep.
Okay. So we're expecting the new record average then eventually at the nationals in 8-way.
Yeah, I think the highest 8-way average is a 23 average, right, with the Golden Knights from the, was it 2015 US Nationals?
I would have to look it up, but yes, I think it was at the US Nationals.
Yeah. Yeah, I know the Golden Knights were very happy that we didn't break any of their records. I came all there like, congrats, but you didn't break my records.
Matt didn't lose it. He was a part of all the averages, the 8-way averages, right? Was Matt still the official alternate after the situation occurred?
Yeah. No, okay. I don't think anything has changed. No.
So he got a gold medal. He eventually completed his golden decade with a.
Yeah, I mean, his name is on the sword, so.
Yeah. Well, nobody will ask about that in 20 years. What happened. Anyhow, a lot of things. Thanks for that rundown, Nick. I mean, we could talk about just that competition probably for another, and we haven't even started to talk about the 4-way competition. I'm sure you had a very close eye on the Hayabusa behavior in Russia. They didn't have competition, but we'll get to that later, I guess. So other things have happened in the meantime. Big things. As we all know, I mean, on the airspeed side, not so much, because you were in training, right, Joey? What did you do? Well, you gave me a breakdown earlier already, but explain quickly between the World Meet and now, what was the airspeed agenda?
So after the World Meet, everybody kind of took a time off to kind of decompress and switch gears a little bit. And then all of September, we've been kind of on a pretty rigorous schedule of like 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 2 days off, 2 days on again. And that ended on Monday. And now we've got a couple of weeks off where we're trying to work and whatnot. Then we're going up to Boulder, Colorado to work with Jack Jeffries on some team dynamics and team building stuff. And we get back.
Team.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we're back to training again. And then there's the skydiving Hall of Fame event over in Paris, California, and we're going there as a team to represent the Airspeed Project, and that's going to be a lot of fun. And then before you know it, Nationals is right around the corner on home turf.
Yes,
Prop zone here looks beautiful, by the way, so it's going to be a really good event.
Okay, that we're only 4 weeks away or so, right? 5 weeks, maybe, something like that.
Something like that.
No 8-way training scheduled before that. I mean, you trained enough in 8-way, I guess, before the World Meet, right, Niklas?
Yeah, no, the 8-way got priority right before the World Meet. So airspeed took 7 weeks off. The 4-way took 7 weeks off. And what we did is we took about a month off before the World Meet, so the 8-way could have priority. And then after that, we had to recover for a few weeks. So that was about a 7-week break for the airspeed 4-way. And I was a little bit nervous about the 7-week break, but after the first couple of days, I'm like, shit.
we had it. This isn't our first 7-week break. We had that in the beginning of the year, right? Right.
And then we were right back at it at a higher level than before. I'm like, man, we need more 7-week breaks.
Yeah.
I'm wondering about that's the 8-way situation. So you get like 8-way gets this long break now, then you're coming to the Nationals, and then the record will fall because everybody is now happy to be back and a creative break.
So the plan was to give the 4-way their priority now before Nationals, because it's an on year. We want to win the rights. The 8-way doesn't really have any competition at the US Nationals. We have rhythm to contend with. So it's kind of stacking up, and it's a very high intensity 4-way ramp up for the Nationals, as far as not only the training, but having this team building trip to Boulder, Colorado with Jack Jeffries, to go into the museum event in Paris, where Airspeed as a project, as a team, is being inducted or being awarded the Excellence achievement award,
Yeah,
I think it is. So the first lineup with Jack, Kirk, Dan, and Mark are going to be there now with us. We're going to be there as well as a current lineup.
Nice.
So it's
Wow.
a little bit of an airspeed reunion, which is super exciting, actually.
Yeah. I think spiritually, we're going to be at a real high, and very eager and in anticipation of U.S. Nationals. And it'll be great too, because it's been 2 years since we've had a U.S. National. So all in all, it's going to be a great road to Nationals that I'm excited about.
So you're actually going to meet with Jack Jeffries, so you make a strategy for, because both lineups will be really excited. The original lineup will say we were the best airspeed team ever, and then you will come and say no, we are far better than you ever were. So there will be a lot of tension at this celebration of the airspeed project, right?
Then we're going to do arm wrestling just to see.
Yeah, that's right. I like that.
I don't want to arm wrestle with NBC. I don't want to arm wrestle with NBC. No, thank you.
You can arm wrestle with NBC.
But congratulations for that too. Anyway, so that's I wish I would be there. That's an interesting celebration there. However, the biggest four-way news in the meantime came actually from the Rhythm headquarters, right? They announced officially that the team is done.
Yeah.
So you still have the competition at the Nationals. And after that, not much competition left any longer in the United States of America.
Yeah, that's really sad, isn't it? Something that we talk about a lot of times is that, sometimes we can get, as competitors, we can get kind of caught up in the drive to beat our competition, right? But at the end of the day, we're in this kind of fringe sport where there aren't a lot of competitors, especially at our level. So, and we live such a bizarre lifestyle that sometimes these people that are at this level are kind of the only people that you can really relate to. So it's kind of, hearing that news from Rhythm was, I'm happy for everything. We're happy for everything that they're going to do in the future with their personal lives, or what Doug's going to do with his new lineup. We're very eager to see that. But at the same time, we kind of feel the loss a little bit in that they were always pushing us to be better, and we're going to miss that. And also just, people that you relate to in the sport and the lifestyle that we live, and they get that, and so it's a shame. It's a shame to see such a great project go through this transition. But I think you're going to see good things. Like I said, you're going to see great things come out of it with Doug and his new lineup. And it's kind of just like what happened with us, right? Like as soon as that news dropped that me and Chris were joining the team, and Thiago was leaving, and Matt wasn't coming back, or Ari wasn't coming back. Like I think a lot of people looked at us and had this feeling like it was going to be a long rebuild, But then we came back in the win games and showed everybody that we're still in it, and that was really exciting. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see something like that happen with Doug's rhythm lineup. I believe that he's still keeping the brand. So he's going to pull up some of the best talent that's out there, and give them an awesome opportunity. And the sky's the limit with that.
So traditionally, the reigning US champions, which have been airspeed for the last, as long as I can think, at least, well, no, almost as long, is going to the second best team and recruiting from their lineup. So has Doug already called you, Joey, and Chris, and Mikhail probably, or Niklas to join his new rhythm lineup? That would be tradition, right?
I don't know. I mean, I know last year. Yeah, I know, but it's serious. You know, like Rhythm won U.S. Nationals in 2019. They beat us, got the right to earn the right to become the U.S. team, and then Jeanette left that team, and I know that Doug was pulling an airspeed poaching on airspeed. Trying to recruit some of us to join Rhythm, you know.
Oh, he really did.
Yeah, he did. But that's, I mean, dude, it has to be. They have to do it. You know, they never asked me, which is fine. But the fact is that it has to happen. It's just a natural part of sport. It's not personal, you know. And you know, so and that being the case, those individuals said no, and then they ended up with Chrissy Frickin on that team, and the rest is history, right? I feel like a Rhythm, a shout out to Rhythm. I mean, I'm telling you, like 20, what is it? When Rhythm really starting putting up a fight against airspeed, they have made me better, you know? And what I mean by that is them existing in our community and training and doing their part has given me a lot of sleepless nights, has made me show up, work harder, had made me sharper in every sense of the word, as a four-way skydiver, as a competitor, as a teammate, as an athlete. So, I mean, they have made me better. And seeing them leave is actually, I've been nervous about it because even as much as you are uncomfortable having someone chomping at your heels or beating you and now you're chomping at their heels, that dynamic is not necessarily always very comfortable to be in, but it does make you better. And now them being gone, I was mourning it. I was nervous about it. I'm very happy to hear that Doug is rebuilding. And that is the first chance for them to transition from the team being in Steve and Jeanette's hands to now being on their own. Like airspeed, the lineage of airspeed doesn't belong to any one of us. You know, it belongs to the current lineup. But Rhythm has belonged to Steve and Jeanette. And this is the transition. If they survive this transition, Rhythm can exist like airspeed forever. And I'm really wishing Doug good luck and that it does happen. The sponsors, Rhythm as a company or as a team, everyone supports it because the community is much better for it, you know. So yeah, so I mean, yeah, I'm really keeping my fingers crossed and hoping them to be successful in that transition.
So if you were in Doug's situation right now, who would you be looking at?
Oh, I sent text messages to people that like Rhythm is rebuilding, reach out to Doug. And I would, you know what, airspeed and Rhythm is kind of like in the same boat now. We keep recycling old people, and nothing against old people, but you know, if you look back to airspeed, we picked people from Rhythm, or we picked people that had retired that we take back from retirement. And I can go back to, you know, people that were recycled and recycled and recycled. And soon as airspeed stopped doing that because of losing nationals to Rhythm, which at the time was extremely painful, but it was a blessing. Because if I look back now, I just started fresh with Chris and Joey, and that was like the best decision I ever made. And I would not have made that decision if I won U.S. Nationals, but Tiago retired and Matt retired and Mikael and I continued. We probably would have recycled people with more experience, and then we would have been stuck in the same situation again.
Good point.
I'm telling you, dude, Doug, pick new stuff, pick new people, hungry, young. Don't go with the safe bet. And I mean, I'm telling you, it's. I would not trade the last 2 years with Chris and Joey for anything, you know.
So that'll probably make it a pretty large and interesting tryout phase for Rhythm,
Yeah,
I guess.
mean, if you want names right off the bat, I mean, the Midwest Next team, you know, all of those people.
Yeah.
I would then look at Keith Connor from California, Ryan Weeks from the Minnesota area to Doug Hendricks up in the Northeast. I mean, there's a lot of young talent, you know.
Mhm.
And oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure I would also be looking at XPG4, the girls team. I mean, there's an enormous amount of young talent that I would build a long-term project with, you know. 'Cause,
Wow,
I mean,
interesting. But good luck. Yeah, Joey.
I think a lot of it has to do with people and and as well as like who's really willing to like adopt that lifestyle, you know. That was something getting into like the airspeed tryouts that I just started seeing a little bit of, is that like there's a lot of people that can actually do this, but like given the right resources, a lot of people can do this, but not a lot of people are actually willing to adopt the lifestyle the way they should and the way they need to. And I think when you're recruiting people, you have to have a really strong sense of that, for sure.
Although there are more ways now than there used to be. You know, if you look at the original airspeed lineup, going back there, you really had to go to Arizona first and live in the desert and drink bread and drink water. And you
That's
know,
what
that was
I'm doing.
But now, but now it's a little bit different. People can still maintain somehow their jobs. You know, Mikhail is a programmer. I mean, everybody's can still do something at least, you know, if necessary. You know, there are quite a few full-time competitors who are still at least partially can do other, you know, jobs at the same time.
I think you're right. You can do that. I would say if Nick if Nick was all of a sudden became a programmer and he wanted to do moonlight as a programmer, he has the years of experience to do that. But if you were to bring somebody new into the sport, I mean, they may have to do that. But at the same time, I would encourage that person to not, because they have a huge gap that they have to cross. And you're only going to get good at something if you put all your energy into it. And as a former computer programmer, I know what it's like to moonlight, and I know how distracting it is. And when I joined Airspeed, I made it a point, no matter how scary it was, and I switched careers a couple of months before global pandemic. And my new career was essentially in the recreation industry. So it was the worst decision you think you could have possibly made. But, you know, I survived it. Me and Chris together, and we survived.
That's right. The combination of changing lifestyle and the pandemic. Oh my gosh, I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what you're talking about,
but as a result, like a huge amount of me and Chris's success and this airspeed lineup success has been the fact that we fully threw ourselves into the sport. And as a result, the sport has fully adopted us. And as a result of that, we're able to produce for the sport. So that's just my take on it. I'm not trying to discourage anybody from doing what they need to do to survive, but that's my personal take on it, being that I've kind of been through it.
It's super interesting, and I think it's a great point. You know, if you really want to become the best in the world, you know, that I think it definitely requires full attention.
I mean, back in the day when Equanimity, the South African team, or XL, the British team, they were trying to make it, you know, in the world of skydiving. They had to move to Sebastian if you're XL back in the day. You have to move to DeLand if you were Equanimity. And those guys did tandems and AFFs and all sorts of stuff just to survive. Yeah. There are no shortcuts. There's no shortcuts today. You know, unless you're independent and wealthy, you can live off of that. When you win, or if you want to win, you have to embrace the whole lifestyle. You can't just cherry pick. You have to live it, embrace it, or else you're not. You're trying to take shortcuts, or there is no balance in what we do. You're in or you're out.
And I think that counts for any sport on the top level. You know, I don't think you can get anywhere to the very top these days, you know, without putting your heart and soul and everything into it.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about, gosh, we could do this for hours. I don't want to, I cannot drag this out for too long, but let's get to the elephant in the room. There's still the word NMP, PCA, Hayabusa out there as the giant at the moment. I mean, at this point in time, the giant world champions since 2014, 16, 18, 21, won again with a new lineup. And that is your actual target. So,
hey, I see a lot of similarities. Airspeed 1995, rolling into Gap France, going up against a 4 consecutive world champion French team. And here we are, new Airspeed lineup, young, hungry, talented, driven, rolling up against Hayabusa, 2022 in Eloy, Arizona. 4-time consecutive world champions. I mean, I feel extremely good about this team. Super talented, super driven. And in the end of the day, dude, Hayabusa are very good friends of this Airspeed project. There's no animosity between the teams at all. Literally, they're friends of mine. So if we're going to beat them, we're not really beating them. We're doing the best we can. And I've had adversarial relationships with other teams. I really have, or other individuals. And to be honest with you, it never comes. It does well for you, but you always do better when you just introspectively or internally do the best you can as a team. So I'm not removing myself from wanting to win, but I'm removing myself from the idea of I got to beat Hayabusa because. We're chasing like Hayabusa 30 averages. We're chasing, trying to do the best we can within. And when we have good skydives, those skydives are great. And if we just keep doing that, I would like to believe that we will end up at top, But I'm not going into it with the attitude. I got to beat Hayabusa. I've been down that road before, and. I don't believe it works.
Yeah, I think there's times when maybe you go into a competition and maybe the pressure of the need to win can be so intense that you're just like, you're almost in there, man, like, oh man, I really hope the other team has a terrible round or something. So, but I think the attitude that Airspeed has, and I'm sure the attitude that Hayabusa has as well, is that we're both so excited about what we're doing that we want to test our mettle against the best, and we want this big clash of the two teams, and we want them to be at their best, and we want to rise above that. We want to be pushed above that. So we're really excited about the situation in four-way that's coming up. It's been really interesting because we haven't really competed against each other yet. So. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to figure out when the first time we're going to meet them in competition next season is, and that's also
and both teams are looking for it. We are both looking to go to the DIPC in Dubai. We're looking to go to the XP Indoor, to the Shamrock. Mm-hmm. They're probably going to come to the US Nationals next year or not, and we're going to see each other at the World Meet. And whatever happens at the World Meet, we get a redo in 2024 between the two teams. So this story is gonna continue the next 3 years,
Yeah, we may have the DIPC, and then the Shamrock, 2 outdoor competitions. Then there's the indoor part of it too. But I guess both teams are focusing on outdoor competition probably more.
But the thing is, the two teams. I mean, after talking to Dave and Dennis and everyone in Russia. They're excited to compete against us. We're excited to compete against them. And the two teams are going to put four-way to a new level. And that couldn't happen if only one of us were by ourselves.
Totally.
So the two teams are going to drive this sport to new levels. And both teams are wishing and hoping and training and planning to be number one. But there can only be one winner. But I can guarantee you're going to see some new levels. On averages and a new battle. And along that road, I'm going to be closer to my teammates than ever, but I'm also going to be great friends with Hayabusa,
I wonder when we get to the point, other sports have seen that, where really levels out and everybody is catching up to a top level and you have a border. But that's a question that we don't have to discuss here now, but it has not happened yet. The averages keep going up and keep going up. In 4-way, 8-way, that's not the case, but that would be another topic that we're not going to cover that now. So, well, good luck with everything, Joey and Niklas. And I think we have to stop this now. If not, then I'm probably even running out of the time frame for the Zoom meeting that I said. I don't know. I don't know if they let you record longer than that.
Okay, end of interview. Beep.
Your trial has ended.
And let me start a new meeting, new pop somewhere. All right. Well, we will see the first new scores at the Nationals, and that is only 5 weeks away. So I do look forward to that. And I look forward to being at a live competition again. We touched this briefly earlier, that the USPA Nationals is not only the event where you determine the national champion and the qualification for the world meet, it's a big social event at the same time, right?
Yeah. Before you started this, I was bringing up how it's really a celebration of the discipline of formation skydiving competition. So it's this kind of reunion of everybody of a subsect within this already tight subculture that is skydiving. You have another culture within that that's just the FS flyers, and they all show up to this event, at least from the United States and many countries abroad, to USPA Nationals. So it's going to be really great to have that because we haven't had it in 2 years.
Joey and Niklas, I will see you there. Thank you very much for taking the time here. Hellos to Mikhail and Chris and Taylor, of course. We will again.
They couldn't make it because they're not as cool as we are. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Thanks again. Good luck with everything. See you soon.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.